Welcome to AviatorDB News Briefing. Today is Monday, August 3rd, 2026. First, breaking news headlines. 13 killed as Aerodiana sightseeing plane crashes near Nazca lines. In other news, one distraction, one error chain, safety analysis of KGOO incident. Canada World Cup star Alistair Johnston slams Frontier Airlines for wrong city flight. Flight Radar 24 logs record 1553359 commercial flights in a single day. CENIPA final report on Voepass Flight 2283, Cites Icing crew errors. Now for the details. Pueblo Viejo, Peru. 13 people were killed Saturday when a Cessna 208 billion Grand Caravan operated by Aerodiana crashed during a sightseeing flight over the Nazca lines in southern Peru, according to the Aviation Safety Network and Peruvian authorities. There were no survivors. The aircraft, registration OB-2001P, went down in an agricultural area near Pueblo Viejo, approximately 12 kilometers from the famous geoglyph site. A post-impact fire erupted and destroyed the airframe. The flight departed Pisco Airport, PIO, at 12:10 p.m. local time. The crew declared an emergency at approximately 1 p.m., shortly before the aircraft went down. While early reports suggested a departure from nearby Ica, aviation specialist outlets and Peruvian national television confirmed the flight originated from Pisco. Among the 13 fatalities were 11 passengers and 2 crew members. Victims included 7 Italian citizens, 2 Spanish nationals, and 2 Germans, according to Peru's Ministry of Transport and Communications. Italian media reported that the Italian victims were members of 2 families from the Monza Brianza province. The crew has been identified as pilot Americo Salazar and co-pilot Irenca Guanilo del Carpio. Peru's Aircraft Accident Investigation Commission, CIAA, and the Directorate General of Civil Aeronautics, DAC, have launched a formal investigation to determine the cause of the accident. Officials have not released a preliminary finding. Local media have speculated on mechanical failure or adverse weather conditions, but no cause has been confirmed. Aerodiana said it would review its flight schedules in accordance with directives from aviation authorities. The Cessna 208 billion Grand Caravan is a widely used single-engine turboprop utility and charter aircraft. The type has been involved in a number of fatal incidents in recent years, and the FAA has previously identified stall awareness and weather-related decision-making as key risk factors for operators. This is a developing story. ANN will update as additional information becomes available. A safety analysis from Aviation Channel Blanca Lirio examines a critical incident at Nevada County Airport, KGOO, on August 1, 2026, focusing on the cascading effects of a single distraction during flight. The report underscores how minor lapses in attention during high workload phases can lead to task saturation and a breakdown in situational awareness, a pattern seen repeatedly in general aviation accidents. While the FAA and NTSB have not yet released a formal public accident report tied to the August 1 event, the analysis draws parallels to previous incidents at the same airfield, including a fatal Cessna 177RG crash at KGOO involving engine failure on final approach, to illustrate how emergency pressure can amplify the consequences of even a momentary lapse in focus. Safety experts note that error chains remain a recurring theme across both general aviation and commercial operations. Recent incidents, including a United Airlines ground collision at San Francisco International Airport and an aborted takeoff by American Airlines at LAX, reinforce that distraction, whether from miscommunication or procedural drift, is a primary risk factor at every level of aviation. Analysts point to the sterile cockpit principle and the aviate, navigate, communicate hierarchy as essential defenses. The KGOO case offers pilots a timely reminder that avoiding heads-down fixation during critical flight phases is often the difference between a manageable situation and a catastrophe. Canadian men's national team defender Alistair Johnston is calling out Frontier Airlines after a post-match flight turned into an 8-hour nightmare, including being routed to the wrong destination. Johnston took to social media following Canada's 3-0 loss to Morocco in Houston on July 5th, writing, "Learned my lesson today. Never fly Frontier Airlines even if it's the only direct flight available. The Canada men's national team official account amplified the complaint, publicly asking Johnston where exactly the airline had sent him. According to reporting by the Daily Hive and the Epoch Times, a fellow passenger traveling with Johnston said a scheduled 2.5-hour direct flight stretched to 8 hours after the aircraft reportedly landed at the wrong airport on 2 separate occasions. Johnston's luggage was also reported missing. The incident quickly went viral, drawing widespread criticism of the budget carrier's operational reliability. While aviation authorities classify misrouting and baggage failures as customer service issues rather than safety events, industry analysts note that such compounded failures carry significant reputational consequences for low-cost carriers. Frontier Airlines had not issued a formal public response to the complaints as of publication. The incident has renewed debate about the trade-offs of budget air travel, particularly for high-profile passengers operating under tight post-match travel schedules. Global aviation reached a new operational peak in July 2026, with Flight Radar 24 logging 5,359 commercial flights worldwide on July 23, the highest single-day commercial total ever recorded by the platform. The milestone was measured within a strict 24-hour window from 00:00 to 23:59 UTC. The new record surpasses the previous high of 137,725 commercial flights set July 13, 2023, an increase of 11.8%. While commercial traffic hit an all-time high, total tracked flights, including general aviation, military, and business aircraft, reached 28,764, making July 23rd the second busiest day in Flight Radar 24's history for overall traffic. Multiple days in early July also exceeded 2,000 total flights, underscoring the breadth of the month's activity. Industry analysts attribute the surge to peak Northern Hemisphere summer travel demand, which pushed airline schedules to maximum capacity. The volume has had tangible effects on ground operations, with departure lounges at major hubs, such as Toronto Pearson International, reported at capacity. The record also reflects a broader trend. Expanded NTSB receiver coverage is enabling more precise real-time monitoring, meaning today's numbers capture more of the world's skies than ever before. Brazil's Center for Investigation and Prevention of Aeronautical Accidents, CENIPA, has released its final report on the August 3, 2024 crash of Voepass Flight 2283, citing a combination of severe icing, crew errors, and organizational deficiencies. The ATR 72-500, registration PSVPB, crashed near São Paulo, killing all 62 people on board. Investigators identified 19 contributing factors, including the crew's failure to execute required procedures after receiving 8 cruise speed low warnings and a degraded performance alert. The crew repeatedly cycled the de-icing system on and off, despite continuing severe icing conditions, according to the CENIPA report. Investigators highlighted inattentional blindness and deafness, finding that the pilots were distracted by routine radio traffic and administrative tasks while ignoring critical flight protection warnings. That mismanagement led to a loss of lift and an unrecoverable flat spin. Analysts are emphatic that the Voepass accident is not a repeat of American Eagle Flight 4184, the 1994 ATR-72 crash caused by a design-induced roll control failure in icing conditions. The Voepass tragedy is instead characterized as a preventable event driven by human factors and a culture of normalizing deviations within the airline. Investigators also found that a prior de-icing system fault on the aircraft may have gone unrecorded in the technical logbook, potentially allowing the aircraft to fly when regulatory grounding requirements should have applied. That's all we have for today. You can get the latest aviation news at aviatordb.com.